Hello, welcome to the Spiritual Warrior channel. We are new to this channel. We're building this page. So if you like what you hear, like and subscribe. You know the drill. So thank you so much for being here with me. So I'm going to do something really different today. I'm going to review a movie. I don't watch a lot of movies, and I'm not a movie reviewer. This is my moonlight job. No, not really. I don't even watch that many movies. But I'm going to review and talk about a movie that I saw yesterday, Nefarious. I actually started watching it last night, and then this morning I couldn't stop watching it. So I was like, I'm going to finish this. So one of the people on my team who does our design work, Jennifer, she told me about it, and it looks really scary. Like Nefarious, I do not like horror movies at all. Like I want nothing to do with them. They're too dark for me. So anyway, she said, go, you should watch this and let's listen to what this person says or what the message is. Now, I started kind of Googling what people thought of it, and people are putting like political, it's a right-wing movie, it's a Christian movie. I do think it's made, from what I read, it's made by a Christian director and a Christian writer. I think that didn't seem to be very clear, or if that was more of people's opinions, but people are making this movie out to be like either left wing or right wing. So little disclaimer, my review of this movie has absolutely nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with the left or the right. And the thing what I loved about this movie, if you really listen to the messaging of this movie, it really talks about it. And it doesn't really talk about politics that much, but if you listen to, and I'll talk about what the movie's about in just a second, but if you listen to it, all of this stuff, red, left, right wing, all the politics that we're in, all of this mess that we're in is all fabricated. It's all fabricated anyway. And people hang on to their beliefs. It's a whole thing. So what this movie is about very quickly is it's about a man on death row who in Oklahoma, and he needs to have a psychiatrist come in. It's his last day. He's supposed to be executed that evening. However, a psychiatrist needs to sign off on his execution as to whether or not he is an insane person or if he was of sound mind and body when he committed the murders that he committed. And he committed multiple murders. So the entire movie, like 80% of the movie, is a conversation between the inmate and the psychiatrist. And basically the inmate saying that he's possessed by a demon. And the character goes from this, I think his name's Harold, who Harold really is and the way Harold speaks is this like really broken man. And then it goes into the demon speaking, and he calls himself the demon. This is the word that they use in the movie, demon, and then he flip-flops. But the demon has taken over Harold's body and has told Harold to do all of these murders. And the entire conversation between the psychiatrist is an atheist. So the psychiatrist doesn't believe anything. He doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in spirit. He's like, everything has to be logical or proven or it doesn't exist in his mind. But by the end of the movie, I won't give it away, he definitely becomes a believer of more of the unseen, which there's a lot to the unseen. And so the conversation that they have has a lot to do with the human condition and a lot to do, it is very religious. It does go into, he talks about that he works for his master, which he never says the word devil or Satan, but we assume that it's that. And he talks about being a fallen angel, and he talks in a very biblical way, saying that they broke away from the creator. And he said he does believe that there is a creator, and the creator loves everyone, and that these fallen angels that are now demons that work for the master are working for the master to create discord in human beings. And it talks about all of the discord, like murder is at like talks about sex slavery and things like these, like terrible things that human beings do to one another. And it talks about how does a human being get to that place. So it talks about that it's insinuating that many people who are doing these dark things, even, and it goes into things that you wouldn't think are dark, or things that human beings do that don't even seem that bad. But he talks about them as if, no, I've gotten to you, right? Like the dark has gotten to you. And it's fascinating. And the reason I really liked this movie, one, I work in shamanism, and many Christians believe, I've been practicing shamanism for 20 years, over 20 years. I've been, a lot of the healing I do for people is through shamanic practices. And many Christians feel like shamanism is of the devil. They don't believe in shamanism. They think it's of the devil. And they think like crystals or anything that's not directly related to God, which all those things are, I can talk about that in a second, is demonic. Is there something wrong with it? Now, the thing is with shamans is the shamans believe in entities. I have cleared many entities from people, not me. I mean, I'm there, I'm doing it. The guides come through, God comes through, angels come through, but it is very real. And like a psychiatrist or someone else might say that's just a part of themselves. And sometimes it is absolutely a part of themselves. Maybe they split off, maybe they've disassociated, maybe it's just a part of them. They've been not integrated apart. But I have actually seen actual entities that have inhabited people, usually through addictions or chronic patterns, chronic like worry, chronic loop thoughts, often have an entity attached to them. Now, there's like 3 different levels of entities in my experience. There's this like kind of lost entity, the people that die and they just kind of get lost and they don't know what to do, and they happen to go and like kind of inhabit someone who's available and open and not paying attention to their energy field. And that causes disruption, but it's not evil. And then there are these other entities that are like mischief makers. They're mischief makers. They are often with addiction, and they just want to keep people, people cheating on their husbands, cheating on their wives, cheating on their partners, being dishonest. Like they're not committing like murders, but they're not staying true to themselves. Or maybe and these are often people like that are homeless, they're mischief makers. And just not even just people that are homeless and addicted, but people who are functioning as well. And then you have demons. And in my experience as a shamanic practitioner, and I used to be hired by other practitioners, and I would go in and be the third party to channel the energies from the client. It was usually called in for energies that weren't moving. So I would channel them. I have seen and been involved with many, many, many entities. And the demonic ones were very, very rare. I'm talking deep demon type. They were rare. These mischief makers or these kind of lost ones were more common. Now, a lot of people are saying the demonic ones are becoming more and more common as the devil kind of ramps up. And one of the things, and I'm just going to call it the devil, one of the things that was profound in the movie, and please, if you do decide to watch this movie, don't try not to think of it as Republican, Democrat. It's beneath us. It's like, it's boring, it's old, it's like not expansive, and it's what keeps us fighting against each other. And that is what these darker energies want. They want us fighting each other, and then we're distracted, and then there's all this other stuff that can happen. But it's not about that. Like if you're like, oh, this is too Christian, listen to what they're saying. They do talk about abortion, so that's kind of rallying some people up. But one thing that he said that was a really like how he gets into the minds of people is through these getting people to do things that are not in their best interest. They go against themselves. They betray themselves. And it got me to thinking about my own journey of like, I know I was born into this life with a lot of light. And I know I've also had a path of lifetime after lifetime where I've been the victim, so to speak, of darkness. And I did a journey this morning to think, I was like, where have I been out of alignment? Where have I been dark? Where have I had been misaligned? Because I guarantee it, as a human being, I've not been perfect. So I did this beautiful journey today and found some information. It was great. It was wonderful. But what so I was talking about, like, how human beings are being tested all the time around like going into the light or getting teased and lured in by the dark. And one of the things he said was, which this really was stood out for me. He's like, we have been working, the devil, the dark, the demons, whatever you want to call it, has been working through your media for years. We put it like right in your face. We're like literally smushing your face in evil. And it's right there, and you're justifying it all the time, or saying it's entertainment, when we're literally, our message is getting through to you through media. And if you watch film, which I don't watch a lot of it, I used to watch a lot of it in college, but I don't anymore, because Hollywood, it has an agenda. There's propaganda, and plus those images, they'll get in my head, and I want clean energy, but they absolutely rub it in our face, is what and I absolutely believe that they absolutely rub it in our face. And if you pay attention to Hollywood, they're usually telling us exactly what's going to happen. They usually tell us exactly what's going on. They'll tell you exactly what the agenda is through the lens of entertainment. And so that's one of the things he said. And what I'm going to wrap up with in this movie, there's this book called Outwitting the Devil. Not everybody loves this book. And a lot of people get their feathers riled up around this book. And then for me, this book landed. This book landed because as we're in, and he even said in the movie, you are in a spiritual war. We are in a spiritual war. When the psychiatrist wakes up out of his atheism and begins to be a believer of both good and evil, you also see that in Hollywood, good and evil. It's like the age old thing, Star Wars, all of them, every single good movie has some good and evil, the antagonist and the protagonist, right? It's literally classic. And here on earth, we are learning how to return back home to the light, to the divine. And we get distracted. We get distracted by little things. We get distracted by these lures of things. Someone's going to tell this little white lie. It doesn't really matter, but it does matter. It does matter. So with this book, Outwitting the Devil, it's very similar to Nefarious in that Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think Rich, Grow Rich, one of the most popular self-help books of all time, wrote, and Outwitting the Devil wasn't as popular because it's freaking intense. And he's literally interviewing the devil. And it's like, it talks about how the devil gets in. It gets in through self-doubt. And he said, the number one way I love getting in and messing with people is through poverty consciousness, If people are poor, then I'm like, that is like a party for me, because of feeling low, demorally, and self-doubt. And like, there's so much wrapped up in poverty consciousness. And even people who have a lot and still have that scarcity mindset. I know a lot of people. He's like, so I get in with that. I get in with self-doubt. I get in through the lies. I get in through the alcohol. I get in through the cigarettes. I mean, it's profound. And what's so great about this book and this, for me, the movie, I'm going to turn on the fan because I'm getting hot, is that it's a wake-up call. We have, and he talks about this too, free will. That's one thing the creator gave us, is free will. It is up to us. It is up to you. It is up to me to choose every day the light, to choose every day not to engage in lower frequencies. And while in this movie, the extreme was murder, there's all this other stuff in between, because he calls out the psychiatrist too, because the psychiatrist is an egomaniac and an atheist and a millionaire. And he thinks he's like all that. He kind of like actor, kind of looks like Tom Cruise. And he's, that typical, like, you can't, like whatever. And he just breaks him down and calls him out, like, what, oh, you did, this is what happened with your mother. This is what you're doing to your girlfriend. This is what's going on. And it's like, it breaks his ego down. And he's like, I have actually not been that great of a person. Like, I've been engaging in things. I just look prettier. I just have a nicer suit on. no, it's not murder, but he also pointed out it was just, it's really, really good. So for me, it was reminding me to really watch my thoughts. And he talked about that there is a spiritual war going on, and it's big right now. This is what all this upheaval is. You know, I mean, look at Maui. It's so sad. It's so incredibly sad. It's just so sad. But the goodness will prevail. Goodness will prevail. This is why they're so shooken up right now. But every time we engage in a lie or a betrayal or something that is, we know that we, even a scarcity mindset, even though you're like, I don't know how to get out of that. That's something that I do. Trust me, I still have to watch it. Know that you're playing in a lower frequency. Even if your bank account isn't matching it, your thoughts can match a higher frequency. And when our thoughts match a higher frequency, a godlike frequency, an angel frequency, and in this movie, he talks about the angels. He's like, I don't want to talk about the angels. Because it's interesting because he talked about, they never mentioned the word Jesus or Christ. He just would say the Son. And it's just, but it's mainly about how do we stay true to who we are, and that all of this other temptation, so to speak, which is a very biblical term, can be avoided. It can be avoided. It's so good. I really enjoyed it. If you can get out of just don't go in there thinking left, right, because that's low frequency thinking anyway, of like, they want us, whatever, whoever they are, trapped in, I'm right, you're wrong, this is good, this is left, this is right. And he even goes into talking about like all of this righteousness that's happening. And he's like, I got you where I want you. Or, like the devil's like, the demon's like, keep going. That's great. To keep arguing amongst each other. Keep trying to be right. It lowers your connection to God. Great. More energy for me. More energy for me. So fascinating. So I'm going to leave you with this. Watch your thoughts. Watch how you treat people. And I'm talking this to myself too, because I want to go through an inventory. My intention every day is to go through an inventory. How was I today? Was I in integrity? Did I lie today? Did I show up today? Did I blow people off? Was I my word today? Taking a personal inventory and feeling like if someone's wronged you, how do you pray for them? How do you hold them high? How do you talk to the people in your life? How are your relationships? How are your relationships? There's so much to look at and so much to be accountable for yourself, and we are not victims. So I highly recommend watching it, keeping an open mind. You may not love all of it, and you may hate it. I don't know. But it's like, and if you are interested, look up the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill and see if it resonates with you. See if it helps you. You could talk to, like, some girl on YouTube talked about this. I didn't resonate. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Like, find what resonates for you. But I'm hoping that what you do choose, whatever it is going to raise your vibration. This coming week, we are putting on a live free event to talk about how to communicate with people in a loving, open-hearted, compassionate way. We're going to be talking about the scripts and things to say to begin opening this up, because everything comes down to connection. When we are fighting amongst ourselves, particularly within a family or a partnership, it lowers everybody's vibration. It lowers everybody's connection. And then we go off into our own little worlds. And that's when things can get weird, or we do things that we're not really proud of, or we just feel bad. Like, we just don't feel good. So I'm going to put the link to my event. It's going to be in the comment section. It's a free event, and it's literally talking about ways that you can come together to be open-hearted, vulnerable. We don't need to be as defended, and we are trained to be defended. We are trained to shut down. We are trained that it's not safe. It's not safe to be seen. And that, if you referring back to what I was talking about, we're giving into lower frequencies when we do that. And we're all in this together. So I'll leave the link to my free event here in the comments, and I hope you come. And if you know someone who could really use, it's called Codes of Connection, could really use it, please pass it on to them. Generosity goes a very long way. And whether they sign up or they don't, they know you've been thinking about them. People love that. Like, oh my God, she thought about me. He thought about me. I may not go to this event, but they thought about me. That's generosity. That's love. That's love. So the movie is called Nefarious. Check it out. I streamed it from twice actually because I got so confused so I got it on YouTube or and then again on Prime, Amazon Prime. And I'd love to hear, maybe you can come back in the comments. Be kind if you're like, that made me suck. That was a political blah, blah. I don't want to hear it. But if you didn't like it, I'd love to hear like constructive thought about it. You're not complaining about it. Does that make sense? And if you liked it, I'd love to hear that as well. And you can put it in the comment section. All right. Have an amazing, wonderful day. I'll put the link to our free event that starts on Thursday, our free training called Codes of Connection, learning to have honest conversations so you can create long-lasting, loving relationships in your life. All right. Have a great day.